Aion and Chronos are both figures in Greek mythology that are associated with time, but are they the same? It is a question that has puzzled scholars for centuries. Traditionally, Aion represents cyclical time, as shown by the steady motion of the sun through the constellations, whilst Chronos is the linear time which has a past, present and future. Aion is often depicted as a youthful god, with a serpent coiled around his body, representing eternity and the cyclical nature of time. He is also often associated with the zodiac and the concept of eternal return. The cyclical aspect of time is reflected in the way the sun moves through the constellations, marking the passage of time in a continuous and never-ending cycle. On the other hand, Chronos is typically depicted as an elderly figure, often with a long beard and a scythe, representing the passage of time and the inevitability of death. He is usually associated with the concept of linear time, which progresses from the past, through the present, and into the future. This linear aspect of time is reflected in the way we experience time in our everyday lives, with a clear distinction between past, present, and future. So, are Aion and Chronos the same? The answer is not so simple. While they both represent different aspects of time, they are not necessarily mutually exclusive. In fact, some scholars believe that they are two sides of the same coin, representing different aspects of the complex nature of time. One theory is that Aion and Chronos are actually two different manifestations of the same deity. In this interpretation, Aion represents the eternal and cyclical nature of time, while Chronos represents the finite and linear nature of time. This duality reflects the dual nature of time itself, which is both cyclical and linear. Another theory is that Aion and Chronos are two separate entities, but closely related. In this interpretation, Aion represents the cosmic and eternal aspect of time, while Chronos represents the earthly and mortal aspect of time. This distinction reflects the different ways in which time is experienced and understood in the natural and human worlds. It is also worth noting that the concept of time in Greek mythology is complex and multifaceted, with many different deities and figures associated with different aspects of time. For example, there is also the goddess Enki, who represents necessity and inevitability, and the god Kairos, who represents the opportune moment. In conclusion, the relationship between Aion and Chronos is a complex and nuanced one. While they both represent different aspects of time, they are not necessarily mutually exclusive. Whether they are two manifestations of the same deity or two separate but closely related entities, the connection between Aion and Chronos reflects the multifaceted nature of time in Greek mythology.